Hey, this is Joe at Knight Security Systems. Today we want to walk through how to manage users on TotalConnect. Being able to add users, delete users, grant access to TotalConnect, or even delete users is probably the most beneficial aspect of TotalConnect. So what we want to do is give you a demonstration on how to add a user, how to delete a user, and some of the differences between users. So let's go ahead and log into TotalConnect. Right now we are demonstrating this aspect of TotalConnect through the iPad. As of now, you cannot manage your security systems users through your cell phone, so the only way to manage the users is either through a tablet or through logging into your computer and going to totalconnect2.com. The next thing we want to do is go to the user section, which is on the bottom right hand side. So we're going to hit users. Now the first thing you're going to see is that TotalConnect is usually going to ask you to sync the users. Right now it's not, but you want to get into a habit of always doing a user sync before adding or deleting a user. This will sync TotalConnect with your physical keypad, bringing up or removing any users that may have been added or deleted from the physical keypad. So you always want to get into a habit of synchronizing your users before you manage them. So we're going to go ahead and sync users, sync initiated, and then a few moments later it'll say sync successful. So let's click on add user in the top left hand corner. You're going to notice that it's asking if you'd like to create or what type of user you would like to create. It has three options. It has administrative user, and panel only user. A panel only user is a user who only has access to the keypad. So this person will never interact with this TotalConnect app. He or she will only be using the keypad. This type of user likely might be a housekeeper or a babysitter or maybe a new employee at your business. Now, a user in the middle is essentially a TotalConnect user. They will have access to the keypad, but they'll also have access to the TotalConnect app as well. So they can arm and disarm the system right from their phones, and they can get the notifications via email and through the app. These type of users could be the managers of your business or perhaps a family member. Now, the administrative user is exactly the same as a user. However, they are the only type of users who are able to add or delete or manage the users and the codes. These type of users could be the owners of a home or the owners of a business. Now, if you're watching this video to how to manage users, it's likely that you're the administrative user. So you're the only one that might have access currently to adding and deleting codes. Let's go ahead and add a panel-only user. Adding a panel-only user is quite simple. You just simply enter the person's first name. Let's make this Mike and last name Knight. And then enter a 4-digit code for this person to use when they're at the keypad. So let's make it 4321. Now this user, Mike, will be able to arm or disarm the system from the keypad, and you'll receive a notification whenever they do so. However, they will have no access to TotalConnect. So we're going to hit save, and again, the most important thing to do is to go to the users and hit synchronize users. And now this information is getting sent to the keypad, so the next time Mike goes to arm or disarm the system will recognize his username and his code. So let's go back to add user, and this time we're going to add a user. And again, a user is a TotalConnect user, so they'll have access to the keypad, but they will also have access to the TotalConnect app, so they can arm and disarm the system right from their phone or receive notifications of important information like the system is armed or the system is disarmed. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to enter a username and password. This username and password is for the TotalConnect app. So when this person downloads the app, they're going to use their own username and password to access the app to arm and disarm the system and receive the notification. So let's make this Inga56, and we'll make the password Inga56. Then we need to add a first name and last name, so let's make this Inga Knight. And then we will also have to add an email. Now, you can add an email, you can add a phone number. We recommend always doing the email address. Every time the system is armed or disarmed, you'll also get an email notification. So let's go ahead and add an email address for Inga. Okay, so we gave her an email. Now, what's important to note, again, is that she's going to be getting the emails every time the system is armed and disarmed. That's why we rather do it through email than through text. The only other thing we have to do is add a user code. So let's make her user code 4321. And let's go ahead and click Save. Now there's an important note to this. Anytime you create a Total Connect user, the new user will have to check their emails. They should have received 2 emails from Total Connect. One asking to download the app, and 2 asking to create a password for the Total Connect app. So once they have completed this, they will have, they will be able to access the Total Connect app, and they'll be able to access the keypad way before that, even if they don't get to the emails in time. So let's go back to users. And again, the most important thing to do when adding a user or after adding a user is to hit synchronize user so that the keypad gets this information. So let's go ahead and initiate the sync. Once that sync is successful, Inga will be able to use the keypad, enter her code, and the keypad and the security system will recognize that information. So now, adding an administrative user is exactly the same as adding a Total Connect user. Again, the only difference is that they are able to manage the user codes and the Total Connect codes or usernames and passwords. All that information is what the administrative user has privileges over than the other users. So we have really just filled out this information for the Total Connect user. So this is exactly the same. So we're going to go ahead and hit cancel. I just wanted to show you that it's pretty much exactly the same. If you know how to add a user, you're going to be able to add the administrative user. Let's say we did just add an administrative user. Again, the most important thing, and you want to get in a good habit of doing this, is synchronizing users, sync initiated, and shortly after you'll get a sync successful notification as well. Okay, so we're back at the user homepage. So let's say you wanted to grant access to Total Connect to someone who right now currently is a panel-only user. All you need to do is click on that particular user. So let's say it's Sean Knight. He's an employee at your business and has no access to Total Connect. All you would do is click on Sean Knight and then click on Promote User. And then it's going to ask you to put in a username and password so that they can have access to their own Total Connect app. Again, you would hit on Add Email Address and then add that person's email address so they can get the notifications to their phone. So now the last thing I'd like to show you guys is how to delete a user. So now at any point an administrator user can delete any other user of the security system. You simply click on a user, you select delete user, then hit save, and most importantly, click on synchronize user. So let's go ahead and do that now. We're going to go ahead and delete Mike Knight, delete user, hit yes, and then again, the most important thing is to synchronize the user. So what that's going to do is tell the keypad to deny access to Mike anytime he would go onto the keypad after this point. I keep hammering down on synchronizing users because let's say you own a business and you have an employee that was recently terminated, and let's say you just deleted his account on Total Connect. That fired employee can still disarm the system if you did not do a user sync. So it's always important, it's incredibly important to always sync the users before, during, or after managing your users on Total Connect. So that concludes this Total Connect demonstration. Again, we went over how to add a user, an administrative user, a panel-only user, or a Total Connect user. We also went over how to delete and how to promote users as well. Thanks for watching. If you guys have any questions, you can visit us at www.knightprotect.com. We look forward to talking to you soon. Bye-bye.